Sustainability has different meanings for everyone. For me, it's making the earth better today to help future generations. My parents do this as farmers. Yes, they produce crops that are sold to feed animals, but they do this in the best way possible. First, they watch their water usage, and also they make sure the crops are getting all the nutrients they need. One thing that doesn't help all aspects of the environment is the way of fertilization. First off is the way we limit our water usage. My family uses water meters. Water meters keep track of your water usage so you can either up your usage or lay back on how much water you're using. They are not mandatory in Nebraska right now, but my parents think in the next couple of years they will be, and that the state will charge if you go over on your water usage. This is important so we all conserve water instead of some people watching out how much they use and others just going however much they want to. The next thing is using the rain. Rain is very important even though we don't have it all the time. When we do, we have the chance to lay back on how much water we use. The next thing is making sure our crops are getting enough nutrients. First, we do this by crop rotation. Crop rotation is switching from planting corn in the field to beans in the field the next year or in a couple of years. If you keep planting corn in the field, you're just using the nutrients for corn, and so your crops will just keep getting worse and worse and worse because the nutrients aren't sufficient enough for that crop anymore. But if you switch between the two, they use different nutrients, making sure that there's other nutrients for the beans or corns the next year you switch. Also, we shred. Shredding is done after harvest when the stalks are just in the field. You take your shredder through, shred up all the stalks, and the stalks just decompose in the soil, adding nutrients you need for them. And also we do soil samples. There's just regular soil samples and there's grid samples. Soil samples we take every single year. We do this because it shows just certain nutrients in the soil that either are there and fine, or if we need to get some fertilizer to make it higher. Then there's grid samples, and grid samples we don't do every year, one, because they're super expensive, and also they're more precise, so you don't have to do them every year. But they show more nutrients than just your soil samples, so you can fix more things than just one. The last thing is fertilization. The exhaust from the tractor is amazing for the soil because of the high nitrogen and carbon content in it, but as soon as it seeps up into the air, it's air pollution and affects the environment in a negative way. Also, chemicals are the same way. They help the crops, but also are negative to the environment. They get in the water, they go downstream, they hurt other crops or animals, and that's not good for the environment, and also they go up into the air along with the exhaust and cause air pollution. As you can see, there are many ways farmers are sustainable to the environment, although some of the ways things they do may affect the environment in a negative way. Farmers are still trying to better the earth for future generations. They do this by watching their water usage and making sure the nutrients in the soil is sufficient for the crops. If only we could find a way to limit the air pollution caused by farmers.